Welcome to BTech Spark. Nowadays, vibe coding becoming very famous because in vibe coding we are utilizing AI agents. We can say we are using AI for application development or testing or anything. So that's why since we are using AI or we are taking the advantage of AI, we can able to develop the application much more faster than normal software development without using AI. For vibe coding, one of the famous platform is this cursor. Here we can able to manage our file system, or you can say our software, the project, or you can say folders, using directly this chart. Through this chart we can able to create some folders. Through this agent mode we can able to read the files or write the content into the files. We can able to create the folders as well by directly chatting, or you can say prompting here to the AI agent. So this is the major reason why nowadays everyone is shifting from normal IDEs to this type of vibe coding, or vibe coding providing tools, providing IDs. In this vibe coding platforms like Cursor, through chat, you can say through prompting in this chat window, this agent can directly integrate with our file system, or file system management will be taken care by our agent. Simply, if I say like I want to create an file, then what it will do is it will create a file here. So that is the scenario which happens beyond the cursor, or so that is the backend which is happens inside this cursor or any vibe coding platform. So have you ever think of how this is happening, how it is possible, how they made it possible, how they integrated this chatbot to their file system, or to our file system, or to our file servers? So how is it possible? In agent mode, if I told it to do something like create a file with readme.md, so like that, if I say to this agent mode, then what it is doing, it's simply creating the content as well as writing the content inside my file. So it directly accessing my file system and writing the content into the file. If I accept it, then you can see the content got written into that file and file got created as well. That means it is managing my file system. Then what is the scene happened in beyond the screens or in the back end? How this agent can able to do or can able to perform this action on top of my file system? So just by simply prompting, what I did, I just provided some chat, like create some readme file, like that I said. So what it is, in in back of the scenes, it created a file for me and created some content for me. And if I accept it, then it really creates that file for me. So how this agent can able to perform that? This is what we are going to implement in this session. In this session, I'll show you how to create this type of chat window. So not IDE, I'll just directly explain you how to create this type of chat window to, you can say, for file system management. I'm taking a plain Jupyter notebook, that is an empty Jupyter notebook. I want to show you like how to create your own cursor chatbot for file system management. And in this video, I'll show you So how to create an agent with Claude, that is with Claude agent. So for concept purpose, or you can think of it like conceptually, I'll explain how to create how to create agent with Claude. So this is the concept that I'll explain, as well as I'll also explain like POC purpose. You can think of it like, so how to create file system management chatbot, like how to create your own cursor file system management, how to create your own cursor chatbot for file system management chatbot agent. I'm showing to you. So how to create own cursor chatbot agent for file system management. So this is what I'm going to explain you in this video. I'm going to connect to this Python kernel. Yeah. So now, so before creating my chatbot, so before creating this, first let's list what are the requirements. So first, what I require some LLM, or you can say first I require my model. That is, we already thought of it like we are using Claude model for this purpose. And what is the second requirement? The second one is tools. Tools for what? For file system management, we require tools. Then by using these two, what I want to create is agent with this model plus these tools, or simply let's create inside my model itself. Let's say I want to add the tools so that it can able to create me an agent model with the tools. I'm going to create the agent, and so using that agent I can able to manage my file system, right? Yes. So first let's going to implement the step one, that is model. Let's create this model. How to create this model, sir? Since I am expecting to create Claude model, I need to get it from I need to get it from Anthropic. Anthropic provides you the keys for Claude models. So if you want one of the, or if you want to make use of one of the Claude model, then you need to initially pay for an API key and create an API key, and then create your Claude model. I've already done with my account creation in Anthropic, and I've already created an API key in Claude, Anthropic Claude, and now I'm going to import this Anthropic, and I'm going to create a client for my model. First, I'm going to create a client for this Anthropic. Anthropic dot Anthropic is the method that you are going to use, and here you need to provide your API key, or you can even use the os dot environ method and set here your Claude API key, that is Claude API key. You can even provide here and assign it to that, and you can make use of, or you can simply provide here. Previously itself I have set my environmental variable of this Claude Anthropic key, so that's why I'm not providing this, and I'm just clicking on enter. You can see my client got created, right? Yes, my client is available now. Now, since my Anthropic client is available, I want to check, or I want to create, or I want to send a message to Claude model. Let's say I want to make use of some model, and that model name will be Claude 3.7 Sonnet. You need to provide the full name of that model, how the name will be like that only. So for this model, I want to chat with, or I want to create a client using this client which you have already created with anthropic. You can able to pass the messages, or you can able to do chatting with this. For that, you can make use of this method, that is claude messages dot create of. You need to provide your model name to the model. For the model, I provided the model name and max tokens. So how many max tokens you are expecting? For now, let's say 2025. And so this you can put as you wish based on the max context window of this model, what are the model that you are going to use. And you need to provide your messages, that is nothing but whatever the prompt that you want to pass is nothing but your messages. I'm going to create one more intermediate cell to create my messages to pass to my model. Messages are nothing but a list of user or system messages. So let's say I want to chat, right? So the role you need to provide at first, that is I'm user, and the content I'm sending it to is whatever the prompt that I'm going to receive, or whatever the message that I want to send. First, I want to say hi, so that's why I'm providing this message, and first running this so that inside these messages, this will be stored. Our messages will be stored. As a user, I'm providing the first message, and you can see I defined my whatever the model name I want, cloud model that I provided, along with the messages, and I'm creating this client. So I think here we need to put comma. We defined the model as well as messages or nothing but whatever the input that we want, and the max number of tokens which represents input plus output tokens, how many you want. Let's say you want 10,000 tokens like that, then you can provide like this. Currently for now, like 2025 is enough for me. Let's save this in response variable so that we can able to make use of it later. Let's print the response. So as you can see, for my request I got the response, right? Yes. Inside this content, actually my response is present, so I'm using this dot content to get only the content. So inside this content also I have a list. So inside the list I'm taking the first value, that is nothing but text block. So if I print, I'll get only the text block. Inside this text block also, where my output will be. So this is where my output was, right? Yes. So dot text is the method, or you can say dot t inside this dot text my content is there. So this is how you can able to extract the content from Claude. You can able to create a simple Claude LLM, and you can able to request to that model and get the response from it. Now we can say our model is ready. The first step got completed, that is our model got created successfully, as well as it was running perfectly. Now what I need to do is I need to create the tools as a second step. How to create the tools? To create the tools, you simply define the functions. So what are the things that you are going to do? File system management. That means first you need to manage folders, as well as we also need to manage files, right? So we need to manage folders as well as we need to manage the files. To manage the folders, that means what are the things we need to perform is we need to create a folder. Or let's have a question. So what is meant by folder management? Folder management is nothing but creation creation of a folder as well as reading what folders are there, as well as, yeah, deleting also there, right? Creating, reading, as well as deleting, these are all things we need to do. So how to create a folder using code? For this you need to import OS, and you can make use of os dot mkdir is the command that you can make use of, and you can provide the folder name so that it can able to create. Let me put it in a function. Mkdir is the function that I want to make use of, and provide folder name as input to it, so that it need to create me this folder. After creating this folder, what I'm expecting, I want to read the folders or read the content inside it. So if you want to read the content, so for that you have this list dir, so that it can able to list all the folders which are present in location, that is folder location we can able to provide, or folder path. If we provide any folder path, then what it will do is it will list whatever the folders which are present in that folder path, and it need to return that. And let's create how to delete as well. That is rmdir is the command, or rmdir is the method that I want to define. By providing the folder name to this method, what it will do is it will do removing. Rmdir is the method present in OS where it will remove the folder, whatever the folder that we provide, that it will remove. So this is how file, or you can say folder management will be. So if I just click on, yeah, so now these three methods got created. If you want to check whether they are working or not, so to check the working of it, I'm going to create a folder, that is tmp folder I'm going to create. After creating this folder, now I want to check, or I want to list the contents inside that folder. So for that, listdir of this tmp. I know since this folder was just now created, there is no files or nothing folders are present inside it. So let's check it. As you can see, an empty folder. Now inside this folder, I want to create tmp1 folder. Inside temp folder, I'm going to create one more folder. So that got run successfully. Now I'm listing. As you can see, inside this tmp folder, I'm listing, so that you can see one more folder got visible to me. So can I say these two are working? Yes. So let's check with rmdir is working or not. So rmdir, that is a remove directory. I want to remove this folder, that is tmp1 folder which is present in it. As you can see, it was run successfully. If I list it, there is nothing, or you can say no folder is present there. So we can think of like this rmdir is also working well. That means now we we created some functions for folders management. So now let's also create some functions for files management. Files management like file creation, file reading, as well as file deletion. So for file creation, let's create a function called create file. Inside this, I'll provide the folder path, at first, then I'll provide the file path, then or file name I'll provide, and the content that I want to put inside the file I'll provide. So that what it will do is this need to create a create a file inside this folder, and so write this content inside that file. For that you can make use of this command open of inside this folder, inside this folder path. Since we are expecting that file name, I'm just providing that file name and opening that file in a write mode, so that if such type of if that type of file is not there, then it just creates and opens in a write mode, and I'm taking it as file. Since I want to write the content into it, I'm using this write method to write that particular content into it. So this will manage like writing the content into the file. It will create the file inside this folder as well as write the content into that folder. I want to read read some file, read off some file present in this folder. In this folder path, whatever the file name that I'll provide, so that file content I want to read. So this is also simple. You can open the same thing that is inside that folder. You can open that file in a reading mode since we are reading it. And as a file, I'm opening it, and I am going to return the value file dot read. So it will I'm returning that value so that we can able to get the content which is present in it. File creation is done as well as reading is done, then removing, deleting. So how to delete a file? So for that, I'm creating one more method. I'm providing the folder name, or you can say folder path and file name. So if I provide these two, I need to remove the file. So for that, OS is providing some method that is remove. You can provide the exactly where your file is present, so that it can able to remove the file. This is how you can able to manage your file system. We will also check with the working of it as well. So let's check the working of these as well. So in order to check the working of this, I want to create first let's create some file inside our temp folder. So I'm writing this create file. I'm using this whatever the defined method is, and I'm providing first the folder name temp, and I'm providing the file name like mm, file1.txt, and the content I'm passing it as this is file1. This is file1. So okay, that's it. Yeah, now the file creation got done. Then after this, I want to list whatever the since I have created a file and inside this folder, and you can say that I've already put some content in it. Now I'll check with listing the content or listing is there anything present in the directory or folder. You can see this file since it is created, this was showing to me. Now I want to read the content which is present in this file. So that's why I'm providing this folder path as well as this file path. What is that? File1.txt. So that the content present in it is also visible right now for me. And I want to check with the working of this remove is also working or not. So I'm just providing this tmp folder inside this. My file path is file1.txt, so that yeah, since this is also run successfully, I can say this file, or you can say this file1 got removed successfully. Let's list and check. So since it is an empty list, there is nothing inside that folder. So from this we can able to say that we have created all the required, or you can say whatever the required folder management functions as well as the files management functions are created successfully. So we can say that this second part is also completed. Now the third part, that is, let's create the agent. What? Let's create the agent with our model as well as the tools. So to create the agent with our model as well as the tools, we first need to define the tools. How to define these tools, sir? So y- to define these tools, you just take a list. Tools is defined by the list of tools you can define, because i- inside this, inside is flower braces, or you can say list of dictionaries you can make use of to define the tools for cloud models. So how to define the tools, sir? Inside the tools you need to provide few things, like what is the name of the tool, that is your function, that you need to define, as well as description of the tool, that is what the tool defines or what the tool can able to perform, that you need to define. Along with that, input schema you need to define. Input schema. What do you need to pass any inputs? Then what is the schema for that input, that you need to define? Like, so what is the type of input that you are passing, that you need to define here. Object which represents both integer as well as string, and your function name first you need to define. So I'll show you one mkdir I'm taking, and I'm providing that here. Okay, so this mkdir, what it do is it will make the directory. So I'm going to define that. To create the directory, use this tool. Or, so to create the directory, we can make use of this mkdir. And the type of input for this is, it's an object type input, and you need to provide, since I have one input variable. What is that? That is folder name. You need to provide the properties of it as well. How many variables are there? For those many variables, we must need to define the properties. This properties, you need to define what is that variable and what are the properties of that variable. Properties refers to, so what is the type of that variable. The folder name is nothing but string, so that's why I'm providing string. And description of this, that is, what is the description of it, like what this will do. Folder name, if we provide it, then it will make list the, or it will create the directory. To create the directory with the given folder name, with the given folder name, it can able to create the directory. Folder name used for creating directory. So like this, you can provide some description with respect to this variable. It's of string type variable and its description is this. Like that, so how many variables are there, those all you can able to define here, only related to this, that is this particular tool or this particular method. So like that, you can define everything. Along with this, one more important thing is, or one more important one you need to provide here is required. What are the required variables? The required variables is this folder name. Definitely we need to pass. If we not pass it, then it won't work, right? Yes. So that also you need to specify here. So like this, we have defined the first one. What is that? MKDIR. Where is that? Yeah, here. So for this, I have defined. So in the same way, I will define for all the other things. And let me pause and play it. Meanwhile, now you can see I have defined all the tools. That is all the tools related metadata or description, where this name represents the function name. This mkdir is nothing but this function name. This list dir I have defined here. So along with that, I have defined all the tools. What are the functions that I have created? That's all. For each and every function I have created this tool definition. In this, importantly, you need to observe what are the variables or what are the parameters that I have defined. Name I have defined, description I have defined, input schema of the function that I have defined, as well as each and every variable related properties I have defined along with the required parameters. Sometimes I might have multiple requirements, like here you can check with. So along with that, sometimes I do not have any required parameters. During that time, I don't need to mention this. So like that. So like this, you can define the tools. Now I'm just running this so that this tools variable will be defined. Then this tool dot name will provide me what tool uh, or what function I'm going to use. So after defining this, now let's create the agent. So how to create an agent with the model? Simply same like previously, you're going to define your client dot messages dot create to, you can say, to message or to call your model. I'm just copying the code which I have written above. So I'm just copying the same and pasting the same here. For the same model, I'm going to passing the messages along with mm, so before adding the tools, let's see the response how it will be. Response dot content of 0 will provide me this text block. So inside this text block, I'm going to accept only this text and let's print it. So this is how the response will be before adding the tools. Now let's add the tools and let's check how the response will be right now. So I'm providing the tools here, and so I'm just again printing the response. So again, let's, since in the content I'm only having one block, that is this text block. So do I'm having any other blocks? No. So I'm just taking only this text content and printing that for you. So inside this text content, let's use print function so that we can able to see it clearly. So you can see in previous response, so what we get, if I send hi to this, so inside the messages, what we have is hi is the message that we have written previously. Yeah, only this hi message is there as a user prompt. For that, previously without having a tool, how the response will be, and now with having tools, how the response will be, that you can able to analyze. Previously, the response will be like hello How can I assist you today? Feel free to ask any questions or let me know what you would like to talk about. So only that was discussed. No tools or no description about tools or what this LLM can able to perform. Those task assistance is also not there. So now here you can observe that is previously this does not have any access to tools, so it can able to just chat or it can able to talk to you. That's it. Now you can see we have integrated with the tools, so we can think of it like a powerful agent where it can able to make use of these tools to perform any actions. Now the response you can see, so the same request we sent, like hi we sent, how the response you can observe, like hello, I am here to help you with managing files and directories. Now it can able to manage the files and directories. I can assist you with tasks like create. It can able to create the directories, it can able to list the directories or remove the directories, create the files, read the files, as well as delete the files also. So is there any something specific you would like to do, or files or directories today? Please let me know how can or how I can help you. Now the agent is ready, right? It can able to respond to me. So I think we need to add one more step. That is fourth one is chatbot. Chatbot creation. So let's see with this chatbot creation now. Fourth step, that is chatbot creation. So to do this, so first let's check whether our agent can able to directly respond to me, or you can say for single request it can able to perform all the actions to me. I'm just taking, or you can say I just need to take initially whatever the messages that I have created. So this is the message that I have created. I'm just taking it, and let's check how the behavior of our chatbot was. So to check the behavior of it, I'm just re-asking the model. So let's re-ask this model like create, or you can say what are what files or folders present inside TMP folder, right? So like that I want to ask some question, and let's see whether it can able to provide me the response correctly or not. So let's see the response. So in this response, let's extract only the content. And inside this content, if you observe in this list, you have two things. One is this normal text block is there, and the second one is tool block is also there. So it is providing two things. One is text block, and next one is tool use block. So let's take both separately. That is text block. I'm going to store in this variable by using response dot content of 0. We'll store the text block, and tool block I want to store in this variable, that is response dot content of 1. So let's print the text block what it is specifying. So inside this text block also I just require this text. So for that, dot text is the method that we can able to use so that we can able to get the text. So what it is saying, I'll check what files or folders present inside tmp folder for you. Okay, so it just providing me the uh, context of what this is going to do. And let's see the tool block, what this tool block will contain. This tool block contains some unique ID and some input and some name, that is a tool name. And type, you can see tool use. So it's not a text type, it's a tool use type, right? Yes. So we need to make use of this tool, or yeah, we need to make use of this list dir tool by passing this input and get the response from it and pass to our LLM so that it can able to see the response and it can able to provide us the analysis result. How this will be possible, like how to call this method and pass these as input variables. To connect with this method and pass these as input variables, we need to define two more functions. So one is we need to define a function that is a tool caller, or so any one of the tool executor, or you can define with some name. And for this, what I'm expecting the behavior is, I'll pass tool name as well as a tool arguments, tool name and tool arguments or tool inputs. Tool inputs. So for more detail, tool function name as well as tool function inputs. I need to get to this, or so if I provide these tool function name as well as a tool function inputs to this, then it need to provide me the response. It need to return me the response which is from the tool function. After executing this tool, it need to provide me the result at the end. So since each and every tool need to return something, right? Yes. So since each and every tool need to return something, we need to define for each and every tool or each and every function some return. Return mm, this folder file is removed. So for each and everything, I'm providing the corresponding return value. Whatever the task which is happened, so that corresponding return value I'm providing. In this folder, this file, what happened is created with content in it. Okay. Then for these also, let's provide the responses. Like a return will be mm, folder name created. This folder name folder is created. And here I want to remove that, right? So this folder name folder is removed. So like that, I've written each and everything a return type. Then so the tool name will get in the form of string. That string, so based on the string or tool name that we'll get, we need to identify that corresponding function at first, right? So before calling, we need to identify to which function I need to call. Based on the same or whatever the tool function name that I'll get, to that only I need to call. To that function only I need to call. So I'm just creating a map tool or tool function name. Tool function name mapper I'm going to create. What this tool function name mapper do is, it will just take the tool name and it need to provide me what is that tool function. For suppose how many tools I have six, I think. So this mkdir is one tool. So whenever I'll get this tool function name, what I need to, which function I'll pass this function name as a parameter. Let's say I'll get another tool name, that is listdir as input to this tool function. Then what I need to pass? I need to pass the listdir function. So in similar to that, we need to define for each and every function. For remove direct rmdir, if I'll get as the tool function name, for this I need to pass the corresponding function, that is this. Then we have three more tools, that is create file. If create file is the tool name that we are going to get, then we need to pass that function in return. And if we get this read as a tool name, then we need to pass that read function. In similar to that, at last we have this write remove. So whenever we get this remove as a function name, we need to pass this remove function. Now, so whatever the string input that we get, based on that we need to get the tool name, right? Tool name. So how to get this tool name? By using this tool functions, we can able to get this tool name. This tool function mapper of this tool function name will provide me that tool name. And so after getting that tool name, what I need to do? I need to call that tool, right? So I'm calling that tool by passing what input arguments? By passing this tool function inputs as the input arguments, and I need to get the response from my. So simply I'm calling my function, that is whatever the tool function, and passing the input parameters whatever I get, and simply returning whatever the response I'll get to this tool caller. So let's check with. Okay. Mm, let's check with listing listdir. That is, I'm checking this tool caller function is working or not by passing some parameters like list underscore dir, or list dir is the function, so I'm passing it. So this is the function name, and what are my input? My input is nothing but the path. Folder path is nothing but folder path is nothing but this tmp. Now you can see in this temp folder I do not have anything, so empty is returned, right? Yeah. So testing got done. This tool caller is also working to call these tools. Now, so whatever the tool block that is provided, let's move back to the model response. In this model response, model is asking us to perform this, or perform this tool call, or execute this tool function. So in order to execute this tool function, we got the tool block. So by using that tool block, let's get what is the tool name. So how to get this tool name? By using the tool block, we need to make use of this name, so that we can able to get the tool name, or you can say tool function name, tool name in the form of string. Then tool function inputs also we need to provide, right? Or arguments we need to provide, where they are. In this input variable, those are present. Tool block dot input will provide me the tool function related inputs. Then in order to get the response, or in order to execute that, by passing these inputs to execute this tool, we have already created this tool caller. So let's make use of that tool caller and pass the two things, that is a tool function name and tool function inputs, and let's call it and get some response from this tool. It is nothing but tool response. So let's print that response once. Okay, since, so what is the input? Input is nothing but this, right? Uh, list dir is the function we are calling by passing forward slash tmp is nothing but the folder name. Inside that folder I do not have anything, so that's why it is showing like empty folder. So that's what the thing is. So now we need to pass this content back to our model. So how to pass? So if you observe, so for any input, how we passed to our model, we passed in the form of messages dictionary. So inside these messages we are passing each message as a dictionary. So like that we are passing, right? Yes. So here also for the tool response, whatever we got, if we want to pass that tool response to our model, then we need to save it in the messages dot append is the method that you can able to use to put the content into the list. And what is the first response? You can say this text response. First, initially in my messages, what is the content which is present? Let's print. So first, only user request is present inside it. Now let's put whatever the response that I got from my model along with, you can say, tool related response as well. So in order to add that, I'm using this messages dot append, because messages is nothing but a list. Append is the method that you can able to use to add some content to this. And inside this I'm passing the dictionary with role as assistant. Since I'm providing whatever the response that I got, you can say the model response, I want to save it, that I'm saving as an assistant response, role as the assistant, and the content is nothing but both this, you can say here however the response content is there. So whatever the response content that I got from my model, that I am passing back. In detail you can observe this response content is nothing but a list of text block as well as this tool block, so that I'm passing or I want to provide back. So this I am passing along with. So next action is what? So it is asking me to provide this tool calling. So that I have done, right? Yeah, here I have done this tool calling. After that, what I'll get? Tool response. That also I need to pass to my model, right? Yes. So how to pass that? So to pass that, I'm adding it to messages itself. Messages dot append of. So as a user, I'm passing that as a user, as a user role, I'm passing that content. Inside this, I'm passing a list. So here clearly observe. Inside this list, the format that Claude model is accepting for tool results is you need to mention the type of the response. So in this type, multiple types are there. Since it's a tool related result, so this type of tool related result option is also there. Tool result related type is also there. So that's why I'm providing this tool result. And along with the tool result, we need to provide one more thing, that is what is the ID. You can say inside this tool, inside this toolbar, it provided some ID, right? Yes. So that ID it will expect like uh, on, you can say on assistant related content. So what is the requested tool call this is, so that you can specify by using this tool use ID. I'm providing that ID, that is a unique ID where this tool call is expected. So how to get that response dot content of one will provide me this tool block. Okay, dot. So inside this where the ID is dot ID. So I'm providing this. Then I need to provide the result as well, right? The response as well, right? So how to provide that response? To provide that response, I'm providing content. Inside this content, I'm providing a string of the tool response. So where is the tool response? This is the one. I'm providing that to here. Then at last, what we need to do is we again need to call our function. Where is that model? We again need to call our model so that it can able to provide me the final response content. Since we are calling our model multiple times, so let's define as a function, or for now let's call manually, and at the end I'll show you like creating the function for calling it manually, or response. I'm printing it only having one content, that is what, text block. That is, it's the final content response, I hope. Yeah. So I'm just taking this, and dot text is the method. Yeah, you can see the temp folder currently does not contain any files or folders. It appears to be empty. So this is how we can able to integrate a tool with the cloud model. So let's create a chatbot. Like, so what this chatbot will do is it can able to integrate with our file system, and it can able to respond to me, and it can able to perform all the actions instead of me if I provide some prompt by using this cloud model along with the tools what we provided. For this, since what is present beyond, we need to call our model multiple times. Here we called our model, and here we called our model, like that multiple times we're calling. So I'm defining like model call of, so whenever I got this type of model call of messages, then what I'll do is I'll do this model calling, and I'll return the response. I'll return the response back. So we standardly define the function for model calling. Then, so what I need to do? We need to again define something for handling the modal response. So how to handle the modal response? To handle the modal response, do our model is providing only single output or multiple outputs? So let's check with that. As you can observe here, our model is providing multiple outputs. So if there will be a tool call requirement is there, then it is providing multiple outputs. If there is nothing, or you can say if there is no tool calling requirement is there, during that time only one response it is providing, that to text content only, right? Yes. So we need to check with what type of a response it is. If it's a single length, or you can say only one response or two responses, that is tool call is present or tool call is not present. So let's check with that. If let's say my response how do I get? Modal underscore call of some messages is nothing but a list of, so let's create some message like user message, like role as a user. He asked some content that is high, and if I run this, modal call of these messages will provide me the response. So if I observe this response, so directly it is only containing a single response. There is nothing more on it. That is a final response I'm getting. So that I need to check. If response dot content, its length I need to check whether it's a 1 or 2. If its length is greater than 1 or not. If it's greater than 1, I'll do something else. If its length is equals to 1, can I say it's the final response? Yes. We can say it as a final response. And let me print this in a new line. That final response. What is that? Response dot content of 0. Since only text response is there, I need to extract only that list and get that text present in that text response, and I need to print it. So if I run this, then you can see for one single input it can able to handle. That is a, there is a no tool calling is there. Let's say if my request is like, if my request is like, yeah, what files are folders present in this temp folder? So like that, if my request is, then let's see the response how it will be. The response will contain the content of two, or the content is having a list of two two values. One is a text block as well as one is a tool block. So how to handle this text block and how to handle this tool block? So that we're gonna define here. Since in our response we are having two blocks, so let's get those two at first. One is the text block and the another one is the tool block. We have already get that previously, so I'm just taking the thing. So I'm just taking the thing and adding the indentation. Okay. So now after getting the text block as well as the tool block, what is the immediate thing that we have done? We checked what is the output of our text. So let's do the same thing here as well. So let's print that plan. So what is this? Since there are multiple blocks, can I say it not only contains a text content, it also contains a tool action? Yes. So that means there will be some plan is there, right? Action plan? Yes. So I can say this text block is explaining me the plan. Yes. So this text block dot text will provide me the, so what is the plan that will be provided by it, or else, yeah, so that will be provided by it. that let's print so that user can able to, or me or anyone who can see the response can able to understood what is happening. So the text block related content I am seeing. Then after that, this tools I need to define, right? So previously I need to define these tool functions. So in middle, let's define after this whatever the tools that we are having. Then what we have done, tool calling. Based on the tool block, we taken the tool function name, tool function inputs, and we call the tool and get the response. So let's do the same thing here as well. Here as well, we have done the same thing. That is a tool function inputs we have taken and tool response we have taken. So after getting this tool response, so as you can observe, where is the tool response? So here. Then we what we did, we just added the assistant message as well as the tool result into the messages, and then we called again our model. So let's do the same thing. That is after getting the tool response, we need to add the tool content related response. That is whatever the assistant response is there as well as the tool response is there, those both added. Then again we need to call the model, right? Yes, to call the model. So here the tool call is already there. So can I say the same task again, the tool calling is happening based on the response length. If only one response, can I say it's the final response? Otherwise we are again calling the tool and again getting the response, that is and adding the response into our messages. So again the loop is continuing. Can I say it's a while loop? Yes. So while true, it will work. And whenever it got done, I got the final message. Can I say I can break it? Yes. So this is how the function is working, right? Yes. So in this message, what I'm asking, what files or folders are present. If I execute this, you can see I got the final response. Like first plan, I'll check what files or folders are present inside the temporary folder. Final response, you can see the temporary folder does not contain any files or folders. Now in place of here we can pass any input. Like in general we can think of it like a user prompt for a chatbot. So let's make the chatbot with these. Let's define some function, that is let's define chatbot chatbot function we are defining, and what it will accept is it will accept the prompt, and based on the prompt it need to respond for this, right? Yes, it need to provide me the response for it. So it will print the response for it, or you can say chatbot message handle. Chatbot backend, let's take it. So whenever my chatbot calls this backend, it can able to execute this prompt and get me the final response. That is what the expectation of it. Let's define chatbot here, where this chatbot will receive the prompt, and what this chatbot will do is, so or inside this chatbot, let's define. So whenever I call this chatbot function, what I'm expecting is it will ask me some input. It will ask me some input. I want to take it here. So enter some input or quit. So whenever if I enter some input other than quit, if I ask any question, then what my chatbot need to do is it need to it need to implement its backend, and it need to perform that particular input or user prompt, whatever the user input is given, so that it need to perform. By using the input function, I want to take the input, and based on the user input, it need to this chatbot need to perform that action in the backend. So that will be taken care by this. So after ending, what I need to do is I need to reiterate it, right? Yes. So while true, so it need to ask me the input. So let's say if I ask it to quit, if quit, if user input is quit, then what I will do, this chatbot functionality I need to stop. So I just type break by providing some message like chatbot stop. So chatbot stop. So like that I'll just provide some message and I'll stop. So that's it. So now let's execute this chatbot. Let's run this. So it is asking me first I'll provide quit. So chatbot got stopped. So let's run it again and let's list what files or folders folders present in tmp folder. Now what it will do is it will plan, like I'll check what are the files or folders present in it. Then at the end, what is the response we got? It's a tmp folder is currently empty. There is no files or folders present in it. Now I'll ask it to create a readme.md file or readme.txt file inside the tmp folder with some random content. So like that, if I ask it, then what it will do is it first plan. I'll help you to create this file inside this folder. First, let me check with the whether this folder is present or not. If not, I'll create it. Then you can see I can see that this folder is already exists, so it doesn't need to create that folder again. Now I'll create readme.txt file inside it, that is inside this tmp folder and with some random content. You can see response, I have successfully created this file inside this folder with some random content. The file includes simple markdown style structured with headers, bullet points and descriptions text. So I want to see the content in it. Let's see, like display the content present in the readme.txt file present in tmp folder. So I'm asking it so that it can able to read the content and display the content for me. As you can see, the final response, like, so whatever the content present in it, that was displayed correctly, right? Yes. So now can I say it can able to manage it, or now let's ask me to delete this, or let's ask to display list the files or folders present in temp folder. So as you can see, I'll check with the files and folders present in it for you. Yeah, as you can see, it is displaying the content exactly what it is present inside that file, whatever it was created. So that is how you can able to implement this chatbot. Let's say I want to stop this, then you can use this quit command, mm, quit, so that this chatbot got stopped successfully. So this is how you can able to create your own cursor. Where is it? Yeah. So this is how you can able to create your own cursor to handle your file systems. This chatbot we have created by our own. You can even include much more functionalities as well if required, if you want. So this is all. So if you want everything in a single cell, then so you just copy this and put it into this. So we created the model call, and we created a, yeah, we even defined the tools, okay, at the top there. Okay, we need to take this, that is these tool mappers as well as the tool callers and this chatbot backend and the chatbot and the chatbot calling. And the must and important are whatever the tools that you are using, those you need to get. Like, so previously you defined these tools. So these all I'm just copying and pasting that here. And those tool related functionalities you require. So that is what you have understood or you have learned from this whole video on how do you create a chatbot, or how do you create a useful chatbot for file system management for your, yeah. So this is what you created your own cursor related chatbot now, and you even chatted with it, and you even created some files with it and performed some actions with it. So this is all about this video. I hope you understood this video and you got an understanding of, I think it's too large. Yeah. Uh, You got some understanding of how to create an effective cursor agent, chatbot agent for managing your file system. And you also understood how to create an agent or how to integrate tools with Claude related models effectively and make use of the Claude 3.7 Sonnet effectively. So that's all about this video. I hope this video is useful to you. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.